In the studio with us, one of my favorite people, Carlos Mencia, is here. Carlos,
By the way, I thought you were punking me on the way in here
why?
because there's a cleaning crew
Oh,
that pull in, dude, and I was like, he is not doing.
you came in the Mexican back door?
Yes, dude. And they're all walking in with vacuums, and I'm right behind them, and I'm looking at this like I look like I belong in this picture. And one of them looks like my cousin. I swear to God, dude. I wanted to look at her and go, Clotilde, Clotilde. And they're speaking Spanish, and I know exactly what they're saying, and I'm like, at the same time,
Can you communicate with them to me? So they have been here for about 6 months, and they are relatively new, and I don't get to see them a lot because I'm in here.
Yeah.
By the time I get out of here, they're done. They're only here on Fridays.
Okay.
And I feel like they're afraid to talk. Like I'm always looking at them like hi, and they just put their head down and walk.
Yeah, not a lot of eye contact.
Yeah,
it's not them.
I know, but I want them to let them know I'm okay.
Okay,
I'm a nice guy.
I'll let them know. No, because dude, when I was a kid, my older brother used to clean buildings downtown,
Right.
and a lot of those buildings had they were like law offices, and a lot of those guys stay late, and they would he would tell me, don't look at anybody in the face.
See,
don't look at nobody in the face. So that's what when we go to when you go to places like this, with people like you just it's almost like clean the house, and I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to see your face. I don't like it's
out
very
of sight,
it's very
out of sight, out of mind. Yeah.
I don't
and
feel
I think
that.
it's a lot of guilt.
I want to chase them around, going, "Thank you so much. Thank you for doing this. I'm so sorry that we made a mess."
Dude, two of them are hot. I'm like, dude, this is the beginning of a Pornhub video, bro.
Also, let me know if any of them wants to make some extra action.
I will let them know. This is the one that starts with, I'm going to clean your house, and then like you have a nice pool, and then wow.
I know guys who have made the move on hotel maids and have gotten some action on that. Like that's not just from the pornos. That's legit.
It's happened.
I wouldn't even know where.
I've been there.
Oh,
yeah. I've been there, dude. I've been there.
Really?
Yes, bro. I was
I
there
would never
where
have
I was
the
like,
balls.
oh my God, Carlos Mencia.
Oh, well, that's it, right? Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That helps.
Bro. I know, dude. It was so crazy.
Yeah.
And I felt so weird because I was like, don't you have to go to work? You know what I mean? I was the one like going, no, you should go back to work. And
at
they're
the
like,
end
no,
of it,
it's
where you're
okay.
like, hey, by the way, listen, I don't mean to be a dick, but can I get some extra towels?
At the end of it, I just was like, you don't need tickets to the show or anything. No, I wasn't insensitive. They were, I did get a bunch of, because I love the Dove, and these ones this was back in the day when those were like really high end, the little Dove ones.
Right.
So I did take some extra Doves from her.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
That's
I
so
would
funny.
I would love it if you got done and you go, by the way, I'm not Carlos.
Oh, dude, that would have been great, right? My name is Randy.
I get it all the time.
Yeah. But my buddy got it the other day.
Really?
Yeah, we were at and we were staying at this place that didn't have a lot of nice hotels. So it was a choice hotel. It was like a Quality Inn or one of those type places. And we walk in, and he had a Wu-Tang Clan. And the woman goes, "What you know about Wu-Tang?" And he's a white kid, and he told her, and she was like, "Wait, man, don't worry." It was like, "Wait, what were you gonna ask?" He's like, "I know where he's staying." And dude, we're staying next door, and then I hear,
Really?
yes, bro. After she got off work, bro, she went straight to his room,
that
dude.
That must be nice.
Yeah, bro. She's this older white lady, a little intimidating,
really?
a little,
If she likes Wu-Tang, she's probably older white lady.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. It was fun. It was fun to watch.
I do a podcast with my wife every once in a while.
Yeah.
Because we're just completely opposite. She's a therapist, and I'm just trouble.
Yeah.
And her thing is every week she's got a different rap shirt on. Like she's into into that stuff. It's an old white lady thing.
There you go, bro.
Yeah.
Good for you.
How have you been, man?
Dude, I've been great. I'm talking about this kid earlier. He's rejuvenated part of my happiness for being on the road again because he's a good kid. He takes advice. Like when I tell him, like before, when I would say to a comedian, especially comedians that were getting good laughs,
right?
Hey, dude, you got to do this to that joke and change it to make it better. They look at me and go, "Oh, but it's a sold out show. I mean, I can't do it. I don't. No, I'll do it like on Tuesday when I go to the coffee shop and there's not a lot of people that can try it out." This dude, I'll tell him on a Friday show, sold out. Hey, you know what? You did that bit, but you should add this and this and this to that. Dude, the next show, he'll do it. and like he'll trip over a couple of the punchlines, but he'll see.
Get there.
Yeah, like he does this really great bit that it's basically about how Mexicans today are like Jews back before right before the Holocaust,
right?
When they were looking for them and trying to find them.
Yeah.
And so his take was that Elon Musk is coming to people's houses to check out if you have any illegal aliens and Mexicans, but he was doing it with a German accent. So it was him going to why is there so many candles of Jesus and Mary, that kind of stuff. And I was like, that's really funny, but it's not going to hit people in the heart. It's got to be an American, probably a redneck. That's the voice that's going to resonate with people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some redneck guy, not Elon Musk, take him out of it and just be like, so you got some Bainers here? You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And dude, the next show he's up there going, so why does it smell of Fabuloso in here? I'm like, yes, that's it.
Fabuloso.
And it's killing the dude. Yeah, so it's fun to watch.
Amazing how you comedians know that stuff. I have seen that firsthand. I had a line about playing PlayStation. I said if it wasn't for my wife, I'd be home playing PlayStation. And Bobby Kelly said to me, 1. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, say PlayStation 1. And I went, they didn't even call it PlayStation 1. They just called it Play. Like, doesn't make it.
It was the original PlayStation, right?
I immediately went out there and said PlayStation 1, and it killed. Yeah. And I was like, maybe I should realize that you comedians actually know what you're talking about.
It's the little stuff. But for the past like 15 years before Kalen, I didn't want a lot of openers, and a lot of those openers were not the same. I don't know if you guys remember when we were back in the old studio, and I had my opener back then.
Which
Cisco?
One? Cisco, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember that whole conversation where you kept telling him Carlos is helping you out, blah blah blah, and he was like, "I would have done it anyway." You know that? Remember
Cisco
that?
Cisco is a little bit weird,
right? But there were a lot of most comedians are like that, right? And I kind of respected that about him, but this kid is like so humble and he's so nice and he's so like, thank you. You know, I swear to God, I'll take this. I used to take Cisco to the really, really nice. So at McCurdy's right behind it, there's this really awesome, high-end, very expensive Italian restaurant.
Right.
I would take him there and he wouldn't even thank me afterwards. Dude, I take this dude to the Wawa and he's like, oh, these sandwiches are amazing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I swear to God, I told him last night on the way in, because I had a sandwich.
Right.
And I go, bro, if you're hungry afterwards, drop me off and you can go to this Wawa place. And he goes, oh, is it like a Buc-ee's? And I go, yeah.
Kinda.
And I go, and they got decent sandwiches. And so this morning we got in the car. He goes, bro, thank you for dude, they had great sandwiches.
Thank
and I'm
you for your recommendation to
Wawa.
Wawa.
Dude, this is the recommendation to the Wawa, bro. Whereas to before, it was like, I don't know Carlos anything. I would have made it no matter what. It was
Cisco still is arguing whether or not he's black. Remember, Cisco wouldn't even admit that he was black.
Yeah.
And then he had that stain on his head.
Because he's Dominican. Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter.
But this kid is just rejuvenated. You know what? He just came at the right time. I feel like Mr. Miyagi, and you know what I mean? And he's Daniel-san, and I'm like, oh, Daniel-san.
You enjoy helping out younger comedians. But I think
exercising that muscle, you know what I mean?
But it also comes with a matter of security. You have to be secure with your own, like, you want to see other people do good.
Hell yes.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't like that. A lot of people are like, I don't want you to do good unless it's not as good as me.
I hear those stories, bro.
Yeah.
I hear stories of comedians that are like, I went and I got a standing ovation and then I was off to tour. And I'm like, dude, if you get a standing ovation before me, you're making it easier for me.
Right.
I'm going to get a standing ovation too.
Right. Like, I feel the same way about doing this show. You surround yourself with the best people.
Correct.
Because they only make you look better.
Correct.
Yeah,
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Because, and he'll tell you, dude, there were times, and I know when I get off stage, where these guys walk off stage, and one of two things, and they'll go, man, this audience sucks. I could see as they're walking off stage.
Right.
Man, this audience sucks. And literally 5 minutes into the show, I look in the back, and the look on their face is like, nah, we suck, bro. We suck, dude.
Yeah, the audience.
That was all
great.
us, bro. These guys, this crowd is amazing.
Well, you do have some challenges ahead of you in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
You get the early show at Off the Hook Comedy Club. That's old.
Off the Hook is tomorrow. Okay. I mean, next week. This week is McCurdy's.
McCurdy's is good.
Yeah.
McCurdy's is not nearly as old as Off the Hook's early show.
I believe it or not, I don't get that. I don't get
everybody.
those.
I mean, they were actually
we get a different crowd. But the older people, believe it or not, with me, they love me.
Yeah, it's not
because I'm their throwback. The old people come up to me and go, I remember when comedy was like you're doing it. And then they go, Don Rickles. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, really? That's my comparison?
Yeah.
Don Rickles?
Hey, take it. That's not so bad.
No,
Could be
but what
worse.
they're saying is like he used to make fun of everybody. Like I
Right.
remember my father went to go see Don Rickles and he came home kind of pissed.
Oh, really? Because he got made fun of?
No, because he didn't make fun of him.
Oh, he did make fun of him.
Yeah, he was mad because he was like, I was in the front with your mother. She looks white. I look like this with my mouth, how I talk. I go, I mean, your accent? He goes, yeah, you see.
And nothing.
He wanted to be made fun of. And so
Who were your comedy idols that when you were starting out?
well, see, I when I was starting out, I didn't know what comedy was until like literally 5 months before I started doing stand-up.
Right.
It's so funny, dude. About 3 weeks ago, I performed in Los Angeles, well, in Pasadena. It's a place called the Ice House. And I look over and I go, oh my God, Lana? And she goes, hi, what's going on? She was my girlfriend right before during the time I started doing stand-up. And I stopped and I started crying. And the audience is going, what's up? I go, no, this isn't like some love thing. She's one of the reasons I ended up doing comedy. I had a job at Farmers Insurance. She got free tickets to go to the Improv.
Oh, really?
And she goes, do you want to go see a stand-up show? And I said, what is stand-up? Remember? She goes, yeah, I had to explain to you what a comedy club was.
You weren't even a fan of comedy.
Wasn't even a fan of comedy.
Bro.
And so I go, well, what do they do there? And they go, they tell jokes. And then I understood. Oh, tell jokes like, the ones my dad tells when he gets drunk in the backyard.
Right.
Yeah. And we went, and I remember there was 5 people. I only remember Rick Dukeman and Paula Poundstone.
Oh, really?
But Rick Dukeman was doing this bit about being in line behind an old lady at a supermarket. And he just kept getting angrier and angrier when he was like, oh, she's pulling out a check. Oh, she has coupons. And I just was like, I feel that way about life.
Right.
I could do that. And that's when the little seed was born of me going and doing stand-up.
No kidding, huh?
Yeah. So I discovered stand-up when I was really young. So my idols aren't big idols. My idols are guys like Charles Kozar, who taught me to stay in character. Guys like Steve Greenlee, who just committed to a joke no matter what. Guys like George Wallace, who doesn't matter who he would kill.
Yeah.
Guys like AJ Jamal, who most people don't know, but God, that guy was just funny all the time, no matter what. Never cussed. Just those kinds of guys, and I emulated those guys. And Rick Wright, the guitar, the guy that did the music stuff, and those were so I was influenced by all those guys. The problem is I was really young, and so you emulate those, but instead of like emulating the big guys, the guys that did a special 10 years ago,
right?
I'm emulating the guy that just went on stage
Rick
before
Dukeman.
me. Right. I'm doing those guys right before them going on. So yeah, and so I'm doing jokes just like them. And I get off stage and I'm like, I know, I love you, dude. And and they're like, yeah, we get it. So
when did you come into your own? When did you kind of figure out what your niche was?
I think it took me about 5 years to get funny.
Yeah.
And it took me about 10 years to marry my funny with what I wanted to say.
Okay.
With who I wanted to be.
That's a process.
It's hard because at first you just have to be funny.
Yeah.
Right? At first it's just, oh, that's funny premise. Doesn't matter what the premise is. That's funny premise. I got to do that funny premise, right? I got to do that, right? That's a joke. That joke is funny.
Right.
And then once you do that enough and you get enough laughs, then it's like, I got to say something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got to say something about what I'm feeling, what's going on inside of me. And then all of a sudden, you start sucking again because you're putting
yourself out there.
You're putting too much. You know what? You're just not putting enough meat, and you're putting too much salt. Or you're putting too much salt, not enough meat. The balance is off. You're saying something relevant, but it's not funny.
Yeah.
And then it takes about 10 years to really put those together where you can master being funny at anything where you just ignore, and then go, oh, that moment right there. You know what I mean? That thing right there.
Well,